I always butcher names.
Yeah, he's Jew.
Nice. I got it right. Cool.
Everyone, how's
Jose,
everyone doing? Hey Don, what's
Oh.
up, bro?
I'm doing pretty damn good today. Doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Excited again for today because, man, we have a very good topic today. Council ranks and star bases, the heart of Sage gameplay today. Lots of
Yeah.
analysis to do.
I really enjoy talking about Sage.
Yeah,
a lot of
man,
strategic stuff going on there.
there's a lot to talk about regarding Sage.
Yep. Let's just give it 1 to 2 more minutes and then we can start.
And it's getting closer and closer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me use this opportunity to check my mic. You guys hear me?
A good check.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you.
We good, bro.
Oh, you guys are in trouble. I can talk now.
Sure.
Oh my god.
Okay. For people joining, we'll be starting very soon. Just giving it like 1 more minute.
Yeah, is the mic working fine or not?
Oh my
Oh,
god. You're
errors.
still an Ooster?
Man.
You're still an Ooster, Roz? What's going on, man? It's been 7 days. And you still sound like a robot. I think it might be like a hardware issue at this point.
Yeah, maybe you could try getting to using your phone. Maybe it would help. I don't know.
All right. I think we are good to get started, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we got to address the elephant in the room first. Where the hell is
Where
Santi?
is Santi?
Where the hell is Santi, man? Okay. Let's just be honest here. So Santi was promoted to being a community director a couple months ago, I believe, at this point. And with becoming a director means you got a lot more responsibilities. He has way too much crap going on now. So he has to join a lot of leadership meetings. Start of the year, we're planning things out. So Santi unfortunately has a very important meeting that he cannot miss because it's about the future of Star Atlas. So, yeah, like Jose said, tag Santi. Let him know. Let him know we miss him.
Yeah, man.
We love you, Santi. We miss you, man. Yeah, I got some big shoes to fill here, but we're gonna fill them regardless.
Look at that Santi, bro. Look at his beaver. With great powers come great responsibilities, right, Dominic?
Exactly, man. That gif is too much. Okay. All right. Now that the elephant is out of the room, let's talk about the Atlas Brew. Let's get started. So this is oh man, what number are we at now? 47. 47. My gosh. All right, this is the Atlas Brew number 47. We're talking about game structure, specifically Sage Council rank system and star bases. But let's set the stage first here. What is the Atlas Brew? The Atlas Brew is, to put it simply, a weekly community gathering where we talk about specific Star Atlas topics. We theory craft. We talk with each other. Mics are, as always, open. But if you don't want to talk, totally okay. You can type in the Atlas Brew text channel. There is a text channel right above the voice chat that we're in. I believe it's 2 channels above us. So yeah, you can type there. You can talk in voice chat. It's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. But yeah, that's the Atlas Brew. Another thing that I want to mention here about the Atlas Brew is we take notes on everything we talk about. So if we talk about something and someone has a phenomenal idea, we give that idea to the team responsible for that product or making whatever it is we're talking about. And yeah, you're basically, all I'm saying here is your voice matters in these conversations, and we always appreciate the dialogue and discussion. So, but now that the introductions are out of the way for what the Atlas Brew is, let's get an introduction for our favorite penguin here. Jose, how are you doing, man?
Thank you, Santi. Oh, I see the habit. Thank you, Dominic, my friend. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And super excited for another episode of the brew, especially regarding sage mechanics and the heart of sage mechanics, actually. I think there is a lot to cover today, and I'm super excited. And you, brother, I think I will do your introduction. We have our community lead here, my friend Dominic. He is my co-host today and always here in the Atlas Brew. So how are you doing, brother?
Jose. I'm doing really good. I'm doing really damn good. It's been a good week. And just be honest here, I've kind of felt a little shift, There's been more content on our YouTube recently. There's been more like Star Citizen people looking into Star Atlas. There's been a lot more people just in general looking into Star Atlas from the content we're doing, everything else going on right now. And it feels nice. It feels really good that it feels like Star Atlas is really starting to get on a lot of people's radars, which is great to see, of course. Um,
Yeah, man.
I'm
It's
also sorry. Go for it, Jose.
yeah, it's almost as if the universe was perceiving that something's about to happen, right? It's super crazy. It's super crazy. I think that 2023 will be a huge year for us,
Yeah,
for the community, for Star Atlas. It's exciting.
100% agree. 100% agree. I think yeah, we talked about this for the last couple of brews, but I the last brew we talked about 2022 being kind of a slower year. We didn't really have much. We had score, and that's really all we had for the first, I don't know, like 7 months of the year, until the first iteration of the showroom came out, and then we finally had something. So we've really only been like officially on the map with gameplay for like 4 months, 5 months. So we're just it's nothing but up, nothing but net from here. I'm really excited for the future, to be honest. So but yeah, let's get into things. So as always, we like to start the Atlas Brew with some noteworthy news, because we know some people are listening on YouTube. Some people just like to get their information from one place, and we want to be able to supply that for them. So the first thing that I do want to talk about is there is a bunch of new videos on the Star Atlas YouTube channel that we released for the Star Atlas anniversary. So happy 2-year anniversary to Star Atlas. I want to first and foremost say that. A lot of you guys already know this, but we released, I think it was like 3 videos over like 2 or 3 days. So there was a lot of different stuff. So the first one I'm gonna link is the Packlight video that we made, and just give some context here. So there's I just linked it in the Atlas Brew text channel. This is the Fimble BYOS Packlight development video. It goes through the early development phases of the Packlight all the way up until about, I don't even know, like 2 weeks ago, where we had the most recent update to the Packlight. Man, it's looking great. It's beautiful. The
Man.
detail is insane. They're doing a lot of good work on the Packlight. Really excited for the Packlight. It looks so damn good.
And
Were you
man,
able to see it, Jose?
of course, my friend, of course. It's mesmerizing, seeing the different manufacturers taking shape. As you guys know, BIOS is a very, well, it's the build your own ship, right? This is the company motto. And you can see the motto inside the ship construction, right? You see that the ship has lots of, pipes and things coming out of it, like as if the guy who designed it was really building his own ship from scratch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And you can feel a totally different vibe when you go for a calico ship, for example.
yeah.
And as time passes by, I think we are getting more and more fidelity to everything. And man, people will see the different manufacturers, the ones that they love and defend in the future. I believe they will be like brands, Dom.
Hmm.
People might buy the ships from different manufacturers just because they actually love the aesthetics, the lore, and how the ships looks overall. It's part of yourself, an expression of the self. inside
like-
the world of Star Atlas.
That's a good point, Jose. I mean, we have a bunch of degen crypto gamers here with us today. You know, I love you guys, by the way. But as we get more and more traditional gamers just want something that really just kind of looks cool. So you see a ship, you're not really necessarily going for anything that has like anything crazy, like the best guns, the best weapon hardpoints, the best shields, the best thrusters. It's all about the look. It's all about like expressing yourself, your personality, and stuff like that. And I think that becomes more and more important as time goes on, as we get more traditional gamers into the Star Atlas community. But yeah,
Exactly.
without further ado, let's do the next video here. And a lot of people were excited about this one, myself included. I am very, 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 very excited for virtual reality. In the future, I think it's just getting better and better and better. And yeah, we've started initial testing for VR in Star Atlas. I just want to give a big disclaimer here. This is not coming out soon or anything like that. This is just initial testing to really let you guys know that we are definitely thinking about VR. That's like the whole thing about a metaverse. Stumbling here. Yeah, really excited for VR. And then
Yeah.
the third video was on an exclusive Twitter video, and we put it on Discord as well. But let me see if I can get that link here, actually, because it
While
wasn't
you
uploaded
search
on the
for it,
YouTube.
man, the VR video, I don't know what's more exciting, the VR technology or Brad narrating his experience the first time he sees it. Man, it's super fun. It's super fun. When they disclosed this video to us internally, everyone was in the chat like,
Oh my
"Wow,
gosh, yeah.
my God, Brad, stream this for us, bro." You know,
Yeah.
everyone was like in awe, and it's super fun because in the Star Atlas team, we are gamers as well. You know, like, and we love seeing the game take shape, seeing these kind of videos, enjoying it with other team members. It's super fun. It's super fun to be working in this company and seeing things taking shape like this. It's it's awesome.
Yeah, we were just nerding out the whole time.
Exactly.
It's a totally new experience. Like you seeing it, what feels like in real life, a big Star Atlas ship with crazy detail and being in that universe is insanity. Like I cannot wait. I really cannot wait to experience a Star Atlas universe in virtual reality whenever that does come out. But yeah, let's move on. I also link the birthday video just to give you guys some information about this video. The first like images that we see in this video are really early design concepts as well. So you can see the compact hero is actually blue in this video. So you can see a lot of early thinking, a lot of early development, which is really fun and cool to see. And I think it was a good nod with the 2-year anniversary. But I am ready to move on from that for some more news. We were nominated for 3 awards. Again, I am once again asking you to please vote for us. I just linked a tweet. We were nominated for Most Anticipated Game, Best Game Lore, Best Game Trailer. So you know Jose is our resident lore creator. If we lose, Jose will be sad. You do not want to see a sad penguin.
I'll
Please
cry in
vote
the
for us.
bathroom, guys.
Please don't cry. Yeah.
I'm
So
joking.
if
I'm
you have time, we'd appreciate you voting for us. You know, really appreciate it. The team also really appreciates it. But that. Oh, there's one more thing actually. One more thing I wanna bring up. I'm gonna grab that link. Ba-ba-ba-na. All right. Here it is. So the last thing I wanted to bring up is the Hologram made a YouTube channel, and I want to shout it out because I think they're making some cool content. The Hologram News Network is doing like 10 to 20-minute videos featuring community members, team members, talking about the overall state of Star Atlas. Most recently, they had Xcode, which I just linked, and Xcode talks about future plans for the Galactic Marketplace. He did a really good job, and it was really insightful. Really excited for what's to come there. So shout out to the Hologram News Network. You guys are killing it on the YouTube channel. Definitely well deserved. But I think that is all the news that I had, Jose. Do you have any comments before we move on from here?
No, I think you got everything figured out, done, and I'm super excited to get started on the theory craft part. So I think we can move on.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. So what the heck is our main topic today? So for Atlas Brew number 47, we're talking about the council rank system and star bases like we discussed at the beginning of this. But before we kind of get into kind of what exactly our topic is, I want to just set the stage for what is a council rank and what is a star base. Jose, why don't you start things off and tell the audience what a star base is in Sage?
For sure, bro. Uh, as you guys know, Star Atlas have many different dimensions of gameplay, right? We have, for example, the economic front, we have the political front, we have the military front. And the star bases, we can think of them as the expression of the faction's power inside Sage. It is the star bases which allows us to play all of those different gameplay loops in the Sage mechanic structure. If you go to the Sage menu, you see that the star bases are the structure that's responsible for gating or enabling different gameplay loops inside Sage. So, for example, when you build a star base on tier 1, it only allows you to explore the resources of the planets that are closest to it. You don't get any benefits overall like reductions on fuel consumption, toolkits efficiency, and the local resources storage is pretty limited. Also, you aren't able to craft the R4 resources or all of them that are necessary to keep your fleets flying in your star system. So you need to rely on other starbases crafting structures or players fighting the different resources to the starbase to allow you to resupply your fleet. And the starbases are basically the core of how the entire Sage structure works. By protecting, creating, and upgrading starbases, you'll be able to conquer the galaxy of Star Atlas, seize the most valuable resources, protect the supply chains of your faction, your players, your guilds, the homeworlds that you learn to love while playing Sage. Everything spins around the Starbase system. And today we are going to digress about and explore all the ways that this influences your capability of succeeding in Sage.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you for explaining that. Next, we want to talk about the council rank system and what that is. Set that up as well. So, the council rank system, I'm going to drop an image from the Sage game manual here. But to put it in really basic terms, the council rank system is basically a progression system where for every level you're going to get privilege points, and you can spend those privilege points on a variety of different benefits in game. The whole point of it is that there's not one way. There's not one way to do this. There's multiple different things that you can use your privilege points for. So that means there's going to be different roles, different metas, and we've talked about this in a couple other brews that I personally think that there's going to be different metas from the early game of Sage, the medium game of Sage, to the late game of Sage, depending on what people are doing and what the overall meta is. So I will definitely get into that for sure. But before we do, I also just want to drop in kind of what you can spend on these privilege points as well. So these privilege points for the council rank system includes things like concurrent fleets. That means how many fleets you can have, your fleet size, crafting capacity, star path fees, expedited rescue, and V1 land rights. What are your thoughts
Yeah.
about the council rank system, Jose?
Yeah, Dominic. Mastering the console rank system is paramount to your success in Star Atlas, especially in Sage, actually. And I would like to point out that for me, it's especially important to understand the two levels of let's say, relevance of the council rank system. The first one is the individual level. You know, the council rank system will reflect your gameplay style and empowers you to do certain activities inside the game. So, for example, if you want to fight in Sage, it's important to have a big fleet, especially if you want to deploy massive ships or weapons of destruction that escalate better than concurrent fleets, for example. Let's say it like that. Or maybe if you want to focus on creating resources, you need to expand points in crafting capacity. And all of those are very specific gameplay paths that will be empowered by the council rank system. So basically, let's say it like that. If you want to fight in the game, you need to have a council rank skill tree that empowers your gameplay style. If you mess the council rank system points allocation, you will probably you'll be underperforming the other players of the game who are more focused on specific career paths. Fear not though, because there will be ways of resetting your points allocations, so players will be able to find the best gameplay path for themselves and how they can benefit the most from uh, the console rank privilege system. But another dimension, and this is paramount to understanding the relationship between console rank points and star-based systems, is that on the faction level, a faction power in Sage is nothing more than the sum of the council rank points of their players and the ships that they are able to deploy. In Sage, as we have discussed now, players will be expanding their star bases, their fleets, and their overall territory inside the game. And to do that, they will need to find the equilibrium between two main activities. First, the generation of resources, and second, the military and the protection of their star systems and the attack of other factions' star systems. So here we'll on this topic, when we start moving on to this topic, we analyze how things can go south very easily in Sage if, for example, players of one faction are not coordinating their actions or their point allocations, and everyone starts working by themselves and forget to contribute to the faction protection or generation of resources.
Great points here. Seriously, great points here, Jose. You said something that I do really want to talk about, and that's play style. And I keep saying the word meta, but I would really like to kind of dive deep into what a council rank system meta looks like. Like I said before we jumped right into this, I think there's going to be an early game, a mid game, and late game meta for something like the council rank system. I think when we hop into Sage for the first time, I think a lot of people are going to be testing the waters, not really knowing what they're really upgrading and what's going to be the most beneficial to their gameplay, their guild's gameplay, and most importantly, their faction's gameplay. So I want to go through all the different things that you can upgrade and put your privilege points into. I'm going to drop the image in the chat again. And I'd like to kind of go one by one and ask you guys on a scale from 1 to 10, how important do you think this privilege is going to be with gameplay in Sage? So, firstly, I want to do concurrent fleets. From a scale on 1 to 10, if you guys can put in the Atlas Brew chat, how important do you guys think concurrent fleets are going to be for privilege points?
Yeah, and while our team or community votes on this, I feel that maybe we could add some thoughts of our own regarding each one of them, right, Don?
Yeah, of
The,
course. Yeah. Talk to
yeah,
me about concurrent fleets, Jose.
yeah, the concurrent fleets is a very interesting skill point, let's say it like that, because it allows you to perform on different battlefronts or different star-based protections, or different resources generation at the same time. While you won't be as strong as a player that focuses on having one single fleet, this allows you to have much more flexibility on supporting your faction or your guild overall, Because, guys, imagine that the universe of Sage has more than 50 star systems, and there will be objectives spread all across the galaxy, you know? And here's some theory crafting about the future of Star Atlas now. As we have been discussing, events of all sorts will be appearing out of nowhere in the galaxy. And the concurrent fleet skill perk enables you to keep your position in one star system and go with one of your other fleets to maybe deal with a timed event or a sneak attack or reinforcing one of your faction's positions inside the game. So concurrent fleets, on my opinion, also allows you to make more mistakes because let's say you have one single fleet and you are using your single fleet on a battlefront that's not fruitful, that you are wasting time. This will reflect on you on wasted resources, on lost time, on destruction of your entire fleet and need to repair it and wait for the respawn time. So yeah, concurrent fleets gives you room for maneuver, if we can say it like that. This is my vision about it.
I think that's a really good point. I want to give commentary like for a pro and a con of concurrent fleets. So it seems like before I get into that we have the ranges from 6.9 to 10, which is I'd say pretty high on the level of significance that concurrent fleets has. The first pro that I want to talk about is what you just said. You're going to be able to be in multiple places at once, which could be extremely beneficial. But the con I want to talk about here for concurrent fleets is if you're a part of a guild and a guild leader is maybe a guild leader treats like everyone's like one fleet as their own concurrent fleet, like having like a bunch of different fleets. So if you have good, um, I guess, how do I say this? Good structuring, I guess I'd say. If you have good structuring in your guild, and you can kind of use your guild members as your own concurrent fleets. So they would have their one big fleet that you can use, and it would still feel like your guild has concurrent fleets because you have a bunch of people, they have their biggest fleet. But the more you spread that thin, yes, you would have more, I guess, more fleets in more different parts of the galaxy. But is that better than having stronger, more solid fleets in your guild? I guess
Yeah,
that's my one talking point for this one is I don't know if it's as important as people think it is at the get-go, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm not putting as much importance. I would probably rate it like a maybe like a 7. I'd say 7 is what I'm going for here.
yeah, you dilute your fighting power as well, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Because
Dilution of fighting power. Yep.
yeah, this is something to watch out for sure. Because if a concentrate attack comes, you're getting wiped.
Exactly,
That is,
exactly. So you have your Visas Opod. I don't know. You're doing some crazy shit in the south side of the galaxy, and but your big fleet is north. Yeah, you're screwed. Your Visas Opod's going down. I'm sorry. But I think it depends on planning. A lot of planning goes into stuff like this. So I don't want to completely rule out it. I think concurrent fleets is super important. Do not get me wrong. I think it's super important. I just think there's some ways around it with guild management possibly that I'm just trying to keep in mind. All right, but let's move on.
Real quick,
Go
I
for
think
it.
a lot of it too for concurrent fleets is going to depend on the actual gameplay elements, right? Like
Mhm.
how much management overhead is there in controlling and managing multiple fleets? How much specific interaction is required? That
Mhm.
sort of thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like you could just have a second fleet, and that fleet may just have like one ship, and maybe it's just gathering resources. So maybe it's not even like that much management that's needed. It's a good point. Good point, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on to fleet size. Fleet size, ladies and gentlemen, 1 through 10. What are we thinking for fleet size? I'm going to post it in the chat again.
How big the fleet being is
Exactly.
relevant.
Max
to the game.
volumetric individual fleet size. So this means if you have 3 fleets, they can have 9 ships if you have that many privilege points in, or they can have 15 ships, or you can have one big fleet if you don't go for any concurrent fleets with just 100 million ships. Obviously, you can't go to that. There's a limit. There's a max value of 100.
Man, I love how some community members are voting 10 for everything, you know.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, let's be honest here. Concurrent fleets and fleet size, I would say, are pretty damn important. I would say, like, probably the most important. Give it a 10. Give it a 10, Signal. I gotta respect it, man.
Yeah. I mean, of course, fleet size impacts in a lot of things in Star Atlas scenes. For example, we are talking about power. For example, if you are one guy that's focused on the military side of the game, you want to bring the big boys to the table, right? And for that, you need fleet size for sure.
Yeah.
And also something that we forgot to mention, Dominic, is that, for example, fleets on the council privilege rank structure, it's not only the points that you allocate that are going to influence the council rank system. For example, if you have a very large fleet, it might allow you to get bonus points on fleet size because you can transport some of your ships inside the hangar of, let's say, your C11, you know?
Mhm.
So there will be other elements that influence the different privileges on the council rank system. And fleet size, for example, is one of them. If you have like a Titan ship and you have the max fleet size and you are carrying your Titan ship there, this will give you bonus of transporting with you more ships. You know, so it compounds on strength. This is what I'm trying to say here.
Mhm.
And on a world where we are fighting for dominance because Sage is above everything, a battle between factions for the conquest of the galaxy, have been able to bring a huge fleet at any time to support your guild, it's a huge advantage. That's for sure, you know.
Mhm. So that's a good point, man. Really good point. I think fleet size is, of course, super important. I would probably rank this one my number one. Not financial advice, not game advice. Do your own research. But yeah, no. I really like fleet size. I think fleet size and concurrent fleets is probably the combo that most people, I'd say like 85% of people are gonna max on release. Who knows if that's the best way of doing it? Maybe, like I said, maybe there's a guild who prioritizes all the other privileges, but puts a lot more emphasis on management of everyone's fleet. So I guess we'll see. We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
But the next one, unless you have a point here, Jose, I don't want to cut you off.
No, friend. What I'm going to say is that we'll talk about this later, but what happens if 80% of the players go with the concurrent fleets and fleet size is the crash of the Star Atlas economy, you know?
Oh my gosh!
But we'll talk about this
You're
in a
putting
little bit.
fear to the you're putting fear into the
The
community
hearts
right
of
now.
people. Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh!
Yeah, and it's game theory, but we'll get there. Let's keep going through each one of the topics.
Okay, this next one is one that I think you're pretty excited about, Jose. I mean, I've heard you talking about crafting for a bit now. So let's get this one might be a hot take. Let's get a 1 through 10 for crafting capacity. Max concurrent crew taxed to craft.
How important it is, guys, in your opinion?
1 through 10. We got a 5. We got a -10. We got a -10 from
No,
Signal.
my God.
We got a
Signal.
5.122. This is insanity. You know, we've went from, I'd say, a strong average of about 8.5 to a really not so strong
Guys,
average of
I'm really interested in learning how you guys plan on eating or resupplying your crews in Sage.
Oh
You
wait,
guys will,
you're changing the hearts of people right now, Jose. We've had 8, 8, 10, 9, 8. Oh nope, Shadow King ruined it. He gave it a 4, Jose. He gave it a 4, man. He gave it a
man,
4.
so much. Man, crafting deserves more love, guys. And you won't be able to
Make your
eat.
case, Jose. Make
You
your
won't
case,
be able
Jose.
to eat the the scraps from other people's ships. You know that, right?
I want to hear you make your case
Yeah,
here, Jose, for
yeah.
crafting
Let's
capacity.
yeah. First of all, guys, we need to remember that the moment that Sage goes mainnet, the resource that we are able to buy from the score from the marketplace is gone. Period. You won't be able to get resources from there. And the crafting career path is the one thing that will control the entire supply of resources in Star Atlas. Meaning that if you don't have enough crafting capacity in your faction won't be able to supply the fleets flying around and destroying stuff. Meaning that this will this will become less fleets flying around and destroying stuff. Meaning that this will diminish your fighting power and will drive the prices of resources to the skies. You know what I'm saying? So you if even if you have if you have a lot of people mining stuff, but you don't have people processing the mining stuff and making it usable to players, it won't mean a thing. And the skill that gates this is the crafting system. So that's why it's so important for the game. And here now this is the time for what is mustache? Because this is the moment where I make a disclaimer of theory crafting and just don't take this as financial advice or
No,
even
no,
alpha or
Jose.
anything like this.
This is
But
alpha, huh?
no, this is not
This
alpha.
is straight from the internal
This is
team.
oh my god. What I'm going to tell you guys is that maybe some raw resources that you mine that you get from a planet, maybe exotic plants or things like that, maybe they need to be turned into other resources, otherwise they expire or they are, useless if you don't act on it quickly enough to make it to a more stable product.
Okay, I gotta say here, real quick, Jose. Signal went from a -10 to a -9.8. So I mean,
This is the victory. This is the victory.
this has got to be a W, right? This has got. Can I get
Yeah.
some W's in the chat, man? Because that's a W, 100%. That is a victory without a shadow of a doubt. You won that one, Jose. You won that one. Thank you, sir. I think we could move on from crafting capacity here. Uh, really good job, Jose. All right, let's move on to the next one. You know, this one I'd say is probably some people think it's a 0, some people think it's a 10. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, of course. Star Path Pass, reduction in Star Path fees. What do you guys think? There's no way you put 20. My gosh. Somebody put it 2. Yeah. This is what I thought it was going to be. Some people think it's absolutely useless, and some people think it's probably the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, Signal with the -11, man. Really? Wow. Okay. We've seen we have the highest vote we've had so far, which is a 20. And we have people voting 1, 2, 3. Like I said, this is probably the most there's a lot of different people thinking a lot of different things here.
Well, let's make a case for the Star Path.
Oh, Jose, you got this one too? Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
Uh,
Talk to me about Star Path and the passes that people will be using
guys,
in Sage.
the Star Path pass is basically the expression of inflation in the Star Atlas galaxy. If you need to move the resources from the planet that you mined then or acquired then to the star bases and to the central space stations where you need to sell them. Every system that you pass through is making you lose money in terms of resources, in terms of fees, in terms of tax. And if you are on the job of being a freighter, every single penny in which you can acquire the resources cheaper to sell them for a higher price in the central space station, especially the resources that you see that are with the lowest offer in the game, this will give you a huge advantage. You know what I'm saying? So the fighter's career demands you to not pay much fees. This is where the real profit from fighting is. So I feel this is my opinion, of course. So I feel that the players that are involved into market making, on getting resources from one point to another, or even supporting their faction war in the battlefronts, they will need this skill for sure, for sure.
Okay. Has anyone changed their points here? Did Jose sway some opinions here? I gotta know. Okay, Araz went from 20 to 22. Jose.
Yeah.
Signal went from negative. He went from -11 to negative
Oh my
12. So I mean,
God.
we're getting some W's, but we're catching some L's here too, Jose. Unfortunately, but that's all right. That's all right. We can't win them all, Jose. We can't win them all.
That's okay, friend.
We only have 19 minutes left, and I wanna make sure we get to star bases. So we're gonna move on to expedited rescue, ladies and gentlemen. Reduction in respawn time, 1 through 10. Talk to me. What are we thinking here? 11,000. Come on, man. What are we thinking here, huh? Okay,
Forget
Signal
that.
went from -12 to 2. You know, I feel like we're getting there, right? 7, 8, 4, 4. Wow, not a lot of people really are putting a lot of stock into this one, huh? Jose, what do you have strong feelings about this one?
This is also important one, Dominic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
And
Jose, can I get a ranking from you, man? Let me
oh
start with
man,
let me start
oh
with
man.
concurrent. Let me start with concurrent fleets. I just want to hear a number from you,
No,
Jose.
man.
1 through 10.
It
1
depends
through
on your
10,
gameplay
Jose.
style, bro. It depends on your gameplay
Nah.
style.
Tell me your
You know?
opinion, bro.
No, it depends. If you want to be a
Oh.
fighter, I'll give you an opinion. Depends on
Okay.
the career path that you are taking.
Oh my
But
god. Taking the
I
political approach, huh? Okay, Jose.
no, for sure, bro. And on the respawn time, I feel that it's going to be one of the massive and decisive things about defense in Sage. Because let's say, for example, that you have a C11 and your respawn time is 50% smaller than the other guy attacking you on your star system. So your fleet is able to fight twice every time their fleet fights one time.
You know, I will
And
say, I will give some points to this because, you know, I always say I like to play a lot of video games. I like to play a lot of competitive video games like Call of Duty, League of Legends, all these different things. Well, League of Legends specifically, as the game goes on, you have more of a respawn time. And as you have more of a respawn time, the enemy team, as they kill you, have more time to get your turrets, your nexus, and everything like that. They have more time to get control of the map. So I think you're making a valid point here. I think sorry, I was reading the comment. I think reduction in respawn time can be really important. Now, this is one of the things that I'm going to have to see in game before I make an opinion on this because I don't know how long the respawn time is. So I'm gonna have to reserve my actual opinion on this one for when Sage actually comes out. But I will say it could be a 2 and it could be a 10,000. So for me anyway, because I think being able to respawn super fast and get back into battle is going to be pretty damn important. But we just don't know exactly how it's going to work yet. So we're going to have to wait on that one. 25% max reduction. Are you saying that's too little or too much, Lloyd? Let me hear that. Let me hear you.
yeah, and you guys need to notice that this is only on council rank points. And there's other things that will influence your respawn time, like for example, repair ships and things like that. You have them on your space
Okay.
station.
Is that alpha, Jose?
I heard this.
Oh my gosh.
We heard it too. You just said that.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Jose is so canceled, man.
I get fired.
This is why we
My
love Atlas Brew,
God.
ladies and gentlemen, because we have no idea what the hell's public, and we talk about everything.
I'm sure Swagner talked about this in the foundation room. I'm 100% sure.
Oh my gosh, I gotta respect it, Jose. I gotta respect it. Thank you for the laugh, man. Okay, I'm gonna
Alright.
skip over land rights because it's not coming out for until V1, and I want to make sure we get to star bases. We have 15 minutes left. Sorry for anyone who was really looking forward to that one. But let's move on to the next topic, Jose. Can you talk to me a little bit about why a star base is important for the strategic gameplay in Sage, Jose?
Man, star bases are the source of the tragic choices in Sage. And when we are thinking about star bases, I developed a personal framework in which we should think about that I actually think about when we are talking about Sage mechanics. On the beginning of Sage, when we start playing the game, it's going to be really, really simple to set the first star bases, right? There is the worlds near the faction safe space. You'll probably need to deal with some NPC characters, but this won't be a challenge for the faction's armies. And you start spreading our influence through the galaxy. This is the first phase of the game development and progress. And this is a fairly simple phase. It's not very dangerous to allocate resources to construct star bases. We'll be able to get basic and uncommon resources fairly easily. And this will be the foundations of the game structure in the early game of Sage.
How about-
Then, sorry,
Does
friend,
someone have
go
a
on.
comment?
I have a quick question.
Go for
So
it, man.
do the star bases or do the planet systems need to be touching a faction piece that already has a base built? Or can you go out past what you already own and take something else?
White man, for you to acquire the resources of a star system, you need to have it. You need to have a star base on it. Unless you are mining.
Yeah, I'm saying, can you build a star base on something that's not touching your current faction border?
Yeah,
Or
for
do you
sure,
have-
for sure. If you want to run away, to say it starts day one, you decide to run away to the middle of the galaxy, and you build a star base on the most dangerous planet. You can try to do that, but it's highly not advisable to do so. And the reason for that is that you won't have a supply chain to support your construction. And the moment that you get there, your ships will probably need to be refilled, but you won't have the structure to refill them. So you are an easy prey to anyone else that comes second to you. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe you create a huge plan with thousands of ships carrying lots of resources to try to establish your base on first day. But for example, if you want to upgrade your star base, you need certain crafting materials that you can't make with the low tier star bases. And here's where I was hoping to get is that star base upgrading, and especially the star bases on the battlefront of Star Atlas, they are one of the most important decisions that a faction needs to make. And why I say that is that because the places where the factions are going to touch one another, the deep space of the medium risk zone, is where the rare resources, the most profitable operations will be located on Sage, right? This is only logical. And by committing yourselves, your guild, your team members to building and defending and upgrading those star bases, you will inevitably have to allocate troops to that point. And as you grow bigger in the Sage map, you open up yourself for more battlefront, which makes which naturally dilutes your ability to defend each one of them. So this is where the idea of the concurrent fleets plays a role, and especially here in this kind of reasoning for me, and also the necessity of uh, making smart choices with your factions and guild members, because everyone has limited resources in Sage. And for example, let's say that the Mud faction starts spreading star bases as if there is no tomorrow, and they need to spread their armies through 30 different star systems. Uh, what's going to happen with the defense of those star systems? Because the other two factions, they need places to grow to, right? And they are much more focused than the Muds. So I feel that this would cause a wrecking ball on the Mud faction because they would be attacked by all sides and they wouldn't be able to fend for themselves because there were so many wars, and they would also be depleted of resources because star bases are costly. They will have maintenance costs. They will cause you to have to defend them, and you'll be placing claim stakes on those systems. And if you lose the system, the claim stakes get unstaked, so you disrupt the supply chain of your faction. It generates a snowball of bad events. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the star bases are the heart of Sage.
I have another question.
Sure, friend.
So obviously star-based construction is super important, and prioritizing like tactical locations on your map to defend. Is there any limit to how many star bases can, like in Stellaris, for example, you can only upgrade a certain number of star bases. Is there any limitation to that in Sage?
Not for now, White Man. You are able to upgrade your star base from tier 1 to tier 5, any of them.
Yeah, any number of them. Okay, cool.
But it's when you upgrade the star base, the maintenance costs are driven with it. So you will be committing your faction to a bigger, let us say, obligation if
Yeah, you'll
you
still
start
want to
upgrading.
we'll still want to
Yeah,
like prioritize key locations probably and primarily
exactly.
defend those.
And other important thing is that your start base level is what determines, for example, your storage capacity. So, for example, if you have a tier 1 star base, you won't be able to hold many resources there, meaning that you won't be able to supply a huge fleet to defend the star system. You know what I'm saying? All those details, all those small things, they are very, very, very important for the game structure. And for example, when I saw everyone in the chat saying that they will be focused on fleet size, concurrent fleet size, military gameplay loops, I can only imagine that this will drive a huge amount of resources, and it might make it might be very profitable for the players actually pursuing the other gameplay loops like mining, like crafting resources, and etc. But it might not be even be feasible to have like a huge portion of players doing this because we won't be able to spread the star bases if we don't have a flux of resources being generated to keep everyone flying and the star bases fluctuate. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of game theory on Sage.
And this is why this is also like why I kind of talk about there being a different meta at the start of the game and like middle of the game and late game. Because at the start of the game, I personally think people are going to put a lot of emphasis on the concurrent fleet size and then um the concurrent fleets and then fleet size. I think those are going to be the main two that people go for, and I think people might not put as much love into crafting capacity, and that might mean that the people who put a lot of love into crafting capacity make some of the big bucks at the start of the Sage game, and then people realize that, and they're like, "Oh shit, I have to redo my privilege points." So they redo their privilege points, and that's why I think there's going to be a different meta kind of throughout the game as people learn that something is more lucrative or something is getting less and less lucrative. I think that's going to be another point to this for sure.
Yeah, and something that's very important for us to remember on Sage is that since we have the different economic the different gameplay loops, right? We have people that are looking to supply to work on the economic front of the game. We have people that are focusing on the military front of the game, but the leaders of the factions, the leaders of the guilds, sometimes they need to pressure their guild members or their faction members, or even make people realize that during certain periods of time, one of those gameplay loops needs to be sacrificed for the wealth of the general faction. You know what I'm saying? Because people will try for sure to play with whatever they want, and they want to be free. They want to test different gameplay strategies. They want to think about themselves and the outcomes of their gameplay. But just like in the real world, there is a social dimension to Star Atlas, to Sage, and everything. And if you don't think about this, if you don't take care of this, if you don't protect this, it will fall over your head at some point by destroying your faction supply lines, by making the star system defense collapses and your claim stakes getting unstaked. You are getting wrecked because your whole operation is disrupted. You know, everyone depends on everyone in Sage. So I feel that the faction that can have the most cohesive discussions and overall strategy is going to have a huge advantage in Sage.
Yeah,
In my
100%.
opinion.
I think the guilds and the faction that puts in the most work at having a really solid foundation, a really solid structure, really solid planning is going to 100% come out on top at the start of Sage. I think a lot of people are going to be learning. A lot of people are just going to be messing with things and trying out different privilege points and seeing what works for them. People might be a little bit more individualistic at the start of things until they realize that planning and grouping together is probably going to be the most lucrative option. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of changing, a lot of learning, and I'm really excited for it. But we're getting to the kind of end here. Jose, do you have any last comments about Starbases that you want to make?
Yeah, just saying that all of this is also a social experiment on some level, right? Because when Sage comes live with all those features, and guys, here you didn't hear me talking about crew members, about the different instances of careers. All of this will add a lot more complexity to the game, more richness for you to play with, to consider when making your analysis, you know? So man, I'm really excited. I'm personally really excited to see how people will behave in Sage. What will be their main preoccupations? What holds value for them personally? You know, maybe some people sacrifice their their game profits for the protection of their guilds. You know, some people won't care about this and let the world as soon as long as they are making profit. Some would even sell themselves to other factions. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, man, it's going to be super exciting seeing this come alive. And we are getting closer and closer to the beginning of this experience. And super excited.
Well said. Well said, Jose. Well said. All right, guys. Well, I think we can start winding down. So I'm gonna officially call it here. This is the end of. Actually, before I officially call it, do you have any words to end this Atlas Brew, Jose? Before we end.
No, I just want to thank everyone for coming once more. I we miss Santi, so let's tag him once more in the
Oh yeah,
chat. So
one
he
more
knows.
time. One more time with the Santi tag, everybody.
And yeah, I guess this is it, bro. I think this was a very interesting brew. Everyone, we managed to open up everyone's ideas everyone's heads to new ideas and matters and concerns or strategies on Sage.
Okay, to close this out, there's one thing I want to say. So next week we don't have a topic. It's more freestyle and community updates driven. So if you have literally anything that you individually are doing, your guild is doing, you're a content creator, you're working on a video, you're working on a product, you're working on a program, it doesn't matter what the hell you're working on. You could be working on a cosplay, you could be working on dinner for tonight. I don't care what you're working on. Bring whatever the heck you're working on to next week's brew. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff. Everyone bring their updates. I'm really excited to kind of get updates from everybody and see what all the guilds are doing, what everyone individually is doing. So make sure you put yourself as interested for the next brew. If you guys go to the top left events, yeah, share your shit brew. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I really enjoy those ones because I like to see what everyone's doing, and it's a good time to show off. It's a good time to show off and motivate everyone else in the ecosystem. So super excited. Anyways, guys, thank you guys all for coming to the Atlas Brew number 47. Game structure, Sage, Council ranks, and Starbases. Appreciate your guys' time, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody. Power to the people.
And stick to the man. See you guys.
Bye-bye.